Hello, hello. This is going to be a video for the sign of Virgo. I appreciate your patience with me during this time. Again, a lot of us are going through a lot of personal changes, obviously, with the circumstances going on. I also feel like it's really important to hold space for the collective during this time, because it's just kind of like a lot of people are uneasy with what's going on, and it causes a lot of stress and chaos, and there's a lot of uncertainty with what's going on. But I really think it's important to also hold space for yourself, but hold space for the collective as well, especially people, those of you who I connect with who are also healers, light workers, whatever the case may be. I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree with me when it comes to holding space for the collective in this time of change. And I really felt like it was necessary to mention that during this Virgo reading. And I also feel like a lot of the collective might be able to relate to the Virgo energy right now, because you guys might really be in it. So let's see what we can get. Okay. Yeah, a change in the wind just came out. So a change in the wind just came out, meaning that... hold on a second. Let me see if I can adjust that just a little bit more. Okay. So a change in the wind. Sorry, I know my light's shining directly on the card, but if I angle it, you guys can see it. This is like bracing for a change in direction, a new change of... I almost just said change of season. This is like a new change of... I just keep wanting to say direction. Like, you might have been going in a specific direction, and then you decided to change course with that. When it comes to whatever it was that you were going towards, this is a time right now also of a lot of change. So it's also about being flexible and like just, buckling down and embracing the storm, really, even though there's not really like... I don't feel like a tower moment or like a storm type of situation. It's more or less like the endless changes that we're going through. Like, just buckle down, bunker down, whatever it is, and just hold on and kind of brace for the impact here. So an unseen change has definitely been initiated. It's kind of like being prepared for when the quiet before the storm. Make sure that you're bringing awareness to what it is that you're planning, where it is that you're going, what direction that you're going in, and just be prepared for changes that come along with going down your path. Because like all of us, at one point in time, like we think we're going in one direction, but then there might be like an exit that we didn't see that we have to take, or like a road that, like a detour. I'm just seeing like a big detour sign. So I'm not quite sure what that means, but you could come up to a crossroads in a situation where you're presented with some type of detour. So it's in human nature to resist change when it comes to just going with the flow. Like, honestly, like a lot of people really struggle when it comes to just going with the flow. We like to be in control of things as human beings. We, have the developmental capacity to want to be in charge of our choices, of our patterns, of our behavior, where we choose to go on a daily basis. And right now we're being forced into a different perspective of where we don't really have that right now. We don't really have the freedom to make the choices to say, hey, like, I'm going to go here today, or I'm going to go out here today. So it's being forced into something that you might have been resistant of in the beginning. So maybe during the beginning processes of when all this stuff started taking place, where everybody was, kind of just staying at home more, but there was still that resistance of like society of being like, well, you can't stop me from going outside. Like, you might be changing your perspective on a situation when it comes to that, and realizing the good that can come out of this. Because I think it is super, 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 super important for us to change our perspectives on this situation for the sake of seeing the positive. Like, and I know that it's really hard to understand that, because it is a lot of negative that is going on right now, but holding a space of positivity in your own mind, holding a space in your heart of unconditional love is what I'm talking about. Like, don't feed into the fear but find peace within yourself during this time. And I feel like I've said that before in another video, but again, I keep getting pulled to say it, and I keep getting pulled to express it. So I'm just going to go with it. And if you get it, you get it. If not, so be it. So there's one thing in life that's always guaranteed, right? And it's change. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter, what actions we take, everything in the end is always going to change. Life changes seconds, sometimes milliseconds. I don't even know if milliseconds is a real thing, but life changes at the blink of an eye. It's like coming into acknowledgement of that so that you can find peace in the current moment is really what I keep getting brought to. So this is really important for you to stay the course as well, like staying the course throughout situations so that you can maintain like a good head, just having a good perspective, a good head in like your head's in the game. Like I keep getting pulled to like your head's in the game, you're thinking of strategies, like you're consistent with what you're doing. And if you're one of those people who like, I can't think of a good example when it comes to a job, but like it's really, really critical for people to not forget that the ball's not rolling. Like remember that all the hard work that you're doing right now during this time to take advantage of. Like if you are looking for a specific job and it's like put your resume out there, keep updating your resume, like do whatever it is to get ahead, like take these extra steps to like get ahead of the game, but be prepared to like win and weather the storm. You see what I'm saying? Like I keep seeing like people putting out resumes and like still like applying for jobs and like really taking advantage of that opportunity to just be like, okay, like I'm going to put myself out there. And there's also a really important thing that they're trying to get me to express right now that I finally just put together. There's a focus on whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you have to offer, like just being you enough, that's enough. Like impacts the world on such a positive grand scale that you don't even realize it. Like just being you alone is enough to make an impact on somebody else's day or perspective. Like if somebody, like you never know what your neighbor is going through in the current moment, what they're dealing with behind closed doors. So really embracing that creative energy, that life force energy, that youthful energy, like it will impact the people around you is really what it comes down to. So you have the higher power card. So yeah, you have the here and now at the bottom of the deck too. So that kind of reiterates like living in the present moment, learning how to connect deeply spiritually to the present moment, being comfortable with the present moment, being comfortable with where you are, finding peace where you are, not stressing out too much of the things that you can't control, understanding that there are things that cannot be controlled in this world. And things like what we're going through is a really good example of that, where we can't control it, but we can do our best to raise the vibration and the frequency of the general collective. I don't know what that is on my shirt, but I saw it. Oh, it's ink. Awesome. So sorry about that. Little things I noticed. Yeah, this is really knowing also that there's a higher purpose for things. Beyond just what you see, beyond what you recognize, like there's more going on behind the picture. And I feel like when you start to see glimpses of that, it's going to click. Like there's going to be some type of an epiphany moment here. I feel like this is also a time right now to really consciously make contact with your higher self and consciously like open yourself up. And like some of you guys might be even going through like an awakening process. Like, I mean, of course, like what's going on right now is an awakening process, whether you want to look at it like that or not. But for the general comparison here, the ripple effects of what's happening right now are going to cause a lot of people to wake up. It's going to cause a lot of people to come to. It's going to cause a lot of people to really be put in a position where they have a choice, and that is to look at themselves, do shadow work, whatever the case may be, in their journey, wherever they might be in their journey. But a lot of people are getting triggered in this sense, and you might be somebody who can ease that for other people during this time. Like you might see that people come to you for more, like people are coming to you for different reasons, and it's like your higher self and your soul and whatever labels you want to put on that, like, you deep down are recognizing that. This is also seeing that, like, the life power, the life source of energy in all things are in communication with spirit and like I can't, this is a really difficult concept to talk about on YouTube, because the way that I learned things over the last 10 years that I've been on this journey, like, it's hard to explain, but there's a cause and an effect to everything, and it is so critically important that we attune ourselves to the higher vibrational frequencies and listen to what our bodies are telling us, because what our bodies are telling us is super, super important during this time. Like, if you're tired and you're sluggish, rest. If you are overbearing and overexerting yourself and you're still full of energy, find some other creative outlet to get some of that energy in. Like listen to your body and what it's telling you. Definitely take time to, like, relax, sleep in if you can. Like, just listen to what it's trying to tell you. Switch up your diet if you feel like you have to. Switch up the food that you're eating if you feel like you have to. And I cannot stress this enough, but the food that you put in your body is going to affect you energetically. So when you eat fast food and takeout and all that other stuff consistently, or, you know, very much so frequently, you're going to feel more sluggish, and energetically you're going to feel a little bit more sluggish, because that food is very dense and it's very heavy. And that's the only way that I can put it in, like, the simplest of terms, is that when you know, eat fast food and takeout and stuff, like, as delicious as it might be, you know, there's an important note to keep in mind how much you're consuming and pay attention to how your body feels. Because if your body is starting to feel sluggish or you don't have energy, pay attention to what you're eating. Also, do your research on, like, you know, organic foods and, like, you know, recipes that you might want to enjoy, and just try to incorporate more stuff like that into your diet, like fruits, vegetables, earthly foods, you know, and some people, honestly, like, you might have a food sensitivity and not even realize it. Like, if you notice that every time you eat pasta you get tired and your stomach hurts and you don't know why, because it's just kind of, like, confusing and you feel all this stuff in your body, try switching to gluten-free ones and see if that's it. Now, pay attention to things, because some people are more sensitive to soy products, and a lot of gluten-free products contain soy. So obviously pay attention to that kind of stuff. Some people aren't allergic to really anything, so they can just eat whatever, and that's great. I wish I was one of those people. But no, you might notice, like, food sensitivity is, like, peaking at like a higher rate right now. And that's because your body is trying to attune to a different vibrational frequency. And sometimes when our bodies are attuning, we can't really process and digest certain foods anymore. So, and my throat chakra is kind of doing something wonky. So maybe it's something that you're not talking about, or maybe it's something that you need to communicate, or maybe you just have something going on in your throat area where you don't really know why. I don't know why I keep thinking of this, but I keep getting pulled back to milk products. You know, when we have dairy allergies and lactose allergies, you'd be surprised at how it comes out in our bodies. Like, sometimes, like, people get, like, really bad sinus infections, and it's just so much, like, sinus issues that they just consistently have a sore throat because their sinuses are always draining. But, you know, pay attention to how much dairy you might be having as an intake, because dairy is correlated with mucus production in your body. So pay attention to that as well, because that might actually help alleviate whatever's going on in the throat. There's another thing too about the body. Drink a lot of water. I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it with that one. This is also a reminder that you are an infinite being, that you are somebody who has a purpose, that you are, you know, you have a reason to be here, you have a mission to do here, and that even though during these times we might lose sight of that a little bit depending on our anxiety levels and whatnot, it's important to remember that we're all in this together, and that you are a divine soul. You are an infinite soul. You are a being of light who is gifted the ability to have a human life and to learn the lessons that you came here to learn. It's also a time that's, like, it's really important for you to find a conscious connection to spirit. enjoy it through whatever ways that you can. Like if you connect more with nature and that's what you correlate with connecting with source in any way, shape, or form, whatever you believe, then go outside and do it. But make it a point to do it more often is what I'm saying, because that connection is very important to strengthen, is really the message that I'm getting off of this. Because times are changing consistently, and it's being prepared for that when it occurs, and having the strength to get through those changes and to endure the winds. So I think that's a very, very deep message for you guys. So I'm going to move forward. I hope my music's not too loud. It's a lo-fi playlist. Because last time I had music playing, it I forget what I had playing, but it got hit with copyright for some reason. But I couldn't help it. It was Pandora. And I don't know the rules with all that stuff, so I'm just here to do what I do. You guys might have been noticing a lot with the winds too, and also with your food. Pay attention to your food and the dates that are on your food, and if you're sensitive and you're energy sensitive and you're somebody who can pick things up and feel the vibration off of them, really use it right now. Because I don't know if it's just me or if other people are experiencing this too, but I go to the store and I get the food that I need for the week, and literally what should be good for a couple days is instantaneously going bad within 24 hours, maybe 30 hours, not even a full 2 days. So just pay attention to the food that you're getting, pay attention to the dates that are on the bags and that are, with the food that you're buying. Also with fruit and vegetables, just try and buy whatever is accessible to you that is healthiest for you. Because I'm not going to sit here and promote what people should buy, because you guys know what works for your bodies, and whatever works for your bodies is A-okay as long as it works with you and you feel good when you eat it. That's how I feel about cake and muffins and donuts and chocolate. Makes me feel good, so I eat it. But no, in all seriousness, it is really important to just pay attention. Pay attention to the food. Listen to the food. I know that sounds crazy, but listen to the food. Listen to the vibration of the food. So your third eye's opening. Might be having headaches. You're awakening to something, or you're thinking about something, or you're going to have an epiphany moment. You could be thinking about taking action towards something. We do have a masculine energy on the board. Now, masculine energy is also about action taking. So you could be thinking about taking action towards something, to wrap something up, or to go towards something new. Now, this could be something that you've debated for a long time, or you might be changing your perspective on it. But you understand and recognize that there's a reason for it and that there's a higher power purpose of it. You might not be talking about it in general, because my throat keeps acting up right now. So there might not be any verbal communication with whatever that is. But it's there's a masculine energy that recognizes something, sees something clear as day, is being guided towards something, has weathered a lot of storms in the process of it. And now, again, whenever I say masculine energy, you can be a woman and be a masculine energy. It's not gender specific. It's just the energy that you're coming in. We have feminine energy and we have masculine energy in our systems here. So you have to kind of place yourself in where you see fit. And obviously don't force it, because this is just a general reading. Not everything's going to resonate. So from my perspective here, there's a masculine energy who's hesitant to take an opportunity that they know is guided. They could be at a distance from someone, or they're isolating from someone, or you are isolating from someone, not communicating, just thinking about something, planning something, recognizing that something has a higher purpose for whatever it is, but having a little bit of hesitation when it goes to coming towards it. This might be connected to the past. But there's something that's clearly being identified here. Could have to do with stability. Yeah, somebody has a lot of anxiety. Now, you could have, on the flip side, you could have a feminine energy who has a lot of anxiety over a masculine energy who is at a distance, again, because there's land that separates them. They're in two different buildings. It's like this feminine energy, like, knows that there's a higher reason for everything, but they have a lot of anxiety about it. They're kind of, like, almost at their wit's end when it comes towards this. Like, this woman is just, like, at her wit's end, or this feminine energy is at her wit's end. And I say woman because it's a woman in the card, and she's extremely stressed out in this photograph. It's a photograph. Card. I don't know what photograph means, but it just kind of fell out of my mouth, so we'll leave it there. It's like this masculine energy is like, I don't know if I want to approach it yet. I know I can. But see, that's not cool because that's giving someone else anxiety. Someone's like delaying something, or they're keeping it delayed for a reason. Like, this person's like overthinks everything, or they overanalyze everything due to their past. And because they overanalyze everything due to their past, they struggle to make decisions with the head and the heart together. Like mind, body, spirit, they struggle to make those types of decisions. So because they struggle to make those types of decisions, there's a hesitation and anxiety inducing energy for the other person. If you're dealing with two other people. If you're not dealing with two other people and this is just you, then you have anxiety about going towards something that you have a higher calling for. Clear as day. If you have a higher calling for something and you know that you're not dealing with anybody else when it comes to like love and romance and relationships and all that other whatnot, like, it's like you recognize that something has a higher purpose, but you're either waiting the storm out, or you're either like, based on your past, you're like waiting something out. Not sure if you should approach something, gives you a little bit of anxiety, sleepless nights, not sure what you should do. Might be going through some financial difficulties. Deceit fell on the ground here, so I'm going to take that into consideration. You could be in a financially constrained situation, or you might be, like, your thoughts might be consuming you. There's, like, a self-sabotaging type of energy where your thoughts might get the best of you in a situation. But see, you have insight towards something, especially with the third eye card here. And then you also have the higher power card, which means that you recognize that you are an infinite being. But what I keep getting pulled back to is the two different energies thing, where I do feel like there is a masculine energy, or someone who is in masculine energy is aware to something being infinite, or aware of the possibilities of something flourishing with another person, but due to like their hesitation and stagnation of just kind of like sitting and pondering based on the past and maybe what they went through in the past, like they have the insight towards something, but they're not moving towards the other person who could be at a distance from them, because they don't know if it's like they just don't know. They don't know. But like, see, this other person has so much anxiety over it. And it's like they're watching you. Like they're thinking about it, and then they're watching you, and then they know that they have anxiety. And then you have like deceit here, where it kind of throws me off a little bit, because it's like, okay, well, if they know that there's a higher purpose for everything, what is this deceit? And it could be financially related. This is throwing me off. Let me look in the book really quick, because this is really, really throwing me off, and I don't know why I cannot figure that out. It's just like, I know what deceit means, but it's just like, there's something else here. So in the book here, it says hidden tactics and manipulation, which I do typically pick up from that, but this is something else. This card comes with a warning that there may be some deception going on in your life. The person hiding behind the curtain is likely someone you know or deal with either personally or professionally. The duplicity could be regarding a personal issue, like someone spreading rumors or disrespecting you to others. So this could be like people in your ear, which is interesting, because that's very possible. You can have a masculine energy who, like, the people around them are kind of like in their ear, like telling them things like, you should do this, you should do that, you should go here, you should go there, don't worry about that, don't worry about this. Like, this person like relies heavily on the opinions of others, and it kind of influences them to like make decisions, and it could have financially constricted them. But it's like this anxiety card though. So if you are, like, pay attention and make sure that you're not lying to yourself about something, like, especially with when it comes to like knowing what you deserve. Like, don't lie to yourself about what you deserve. Like, remember that you deserve like the best, and like something like that. This is throwing me off. It's like having anxiety over something that maybe you shouldn't have anxiety over. Like, maybe you don't see this coming, or you never would have thought that this person would have felt some type of way. And so, like, your own anxieties and your own fears kind of manifest it in their own way. And that kind of kept you feeling somewhat, like, stuck or, like, paranoid even. Like, I feel paranoid. There's a feminine energy who might just be, like, unsure of something. And it's kind of, like, freaking them out. Virgo, what the hell? See financial constraints at the bottom of the deck. Oh, I knew I felt that. With the Sun card at the top of the deck. Very interesting. There might be a feminine energy that's here right now. Okay. Let me just reel it back in here. There is a feminine energy who might have anxiety and fears that stem from like personal fears. Like, bear with me on this, because I know that it's really hard to acknowledge things like that sometimes because we don't want to know that they're there. I myself have been through it. I struggled with it for a very, very long time when it comes to self-worth and all that other stuff. It's a hard road to walk when you're building it back up, but you know what? You can do it. Especially if you're a feminine energy. Love yourself enough to know that you deserve the best, and to know that like whatever's meant to be for you will always be for you. Because there's a feminine or a group of feminine energies on the board who are clearly like causing chaos in their own head because they don't see, like, they're focused on like what other people said or what other people have, and it's like affecting like triggers of like maybe insecurities that you've had since you were a kid. Like, there's some correlation between like childhood things and like maybe you had experiences in school or elementary school where you got bullied or something. Those experiences are impacting your ability to find peace in a situation. It's causing mental constraints, emotional constraints. Like, my throat just closed up when I said that. There's something that's not being discussed or let go of, and it's like you have deceit and you have envy, you know what I mean? But the cards don't always, like, they don't directly mean like envy, like you envy something, but it's like kind of like you envy some type of freedom deep down, or maybe the person you're dealing with envies some type of freedom deep down. But it's more or less the way that I see it is this. I see more anxieties of a situation. Like, how do I take action towards something? Or somebody's thinking, how do I take action towards this other person? And then the other person on the other end is dealing with all the anxiety and the fear and like the low, like, negative self-talk. Like, if you are worried about a person coming in, like, don't. Like, love yourself enough to know that you don't need to like give that person another thought, because the person who's meant to align with you will align with you when the time is right. But if you're still holding on to feelings like that where you're like, oh, Like, why? Like, those whys are what's keeping you stuck. And those whys are what blocks up your energy, so that, like, because when you block up your energy, you can't be open to all the possibilities that the universe is going to give you. All you have to do is open yourself to them. So I know it's really hard to let go of that fear of just being like, I don't know if you don't think that this person's going to come back. It's like you don't see something, or like somebody doesn't see something for what it is. Like there's something happy. You have the Sun card. There's something happy with this thinking man card. So it could be a masculine energy who sees the path, but there could be some financial constrictions that are going on. But it's like the feminine is just like all torn up with anxiety about it. So I'm going to pull some actual cards and see if we can get like more of a storyline on it. But I mean, like, all messed up. Not all messed up, but like just like sad, upset, whatever the case may be. Freaking out. Just take care of yourself during this time. I cannot emphasize that enough. Like, really, really take care of yourself. Love yourself. Tell yourself that you're worth it every single day. Write it on your mirror. Like, write on your mirror that you're beautiful. Write on your mirror that you're loving. Write on your mirror that you're kind. Write on your mirror that you deserve the best. Like, write it out so that you can visually look at it every single day. So, we have the Star card. We have the Eight of Wands that came out in reverse. Double reverse. Because this was vice versa decks, but it came out literally in reverse. I feel like you're going to get some type of psychic insight. You're going through some type of healing, absolutely 100%. Because you've been holding on to something that you don't need to hold on to. You're getting some type of, like, spiritual message, spiritual epiphany that's going to lead to healing. Or you're dealing with an Aquarius. It's too many cards. You might be dealing with an Aquarius. Or Aquarian energy. Some type of truth is going to be revealed about something that you've been holding on to. Could be an Aquarius. There's a lot of air energy here. A lot of air energy. Like, you have the Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords. This is me reading it backwards. You have the Star card, the Eight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. And somebody's stepping into their power, absolutely 100% for sure. Like, just stepping into, like, I don't want to say the Ice Queen, because, like, Queen of Swords isn't always the Ice Queen. It's just, if you give her a good reason, she's going to be the Ice Queen. But not always the Ice Queen. This is just somebody who's been through something. Like, they've been through a lot. They've let go of something. They've healed from something. They see the truth of something. Maybe communication comes in that allows for some type of healing. Could be spiritual, because it is over the third eye card. So this could be like a intuitive message and a spiritual epiphany. Maybe you're meditating more. You might see something in your meditation that allows you to release something or discover something that you've been holding on to that's keeping you kind of stuck in a maze, stuck in a pattern. You get the truth of that situation, and then you have the ability to cut it out, to release it. Yeah, releasing it. You're walking away from it. You're walking away from something. It's like a judgment call. You're choosing to go somewhere else. Yeah, you're not even offering emotion. You might have been holding on to somebody who was offering little emotion. But it's like you get some type of message that comes in quick, like really, really quick. And it might be calling you to move in an opposite direction. Could have been dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio even. Wow, everything is like in reverse. Either You can be an air sign, but you could be like in Virgo energy. So you might be an Aquarius or Gemini or Libra, specifically Aquarius because of the Star card and the Queen of Swords. You could have multiple opportunities that are coming towards you, but emotionally you're holding on to something, which is kind of holding back all those other opportunities that could be coming forward to you. If you don't have strong air in your chart, this is the energy that you're taking on. If you don't have strong air in your chart. See, the thing is that we all have some sort of the element in our charts, in one place, shape, or form. And so you could be a Virgo sun, Virgo moon, but you could be in Aquarius energy. It's just kind of how it happens, because you might have Aquarius in a stronger placement throughout your chart. You see what I'm saying? Because you could have like a sun sign, a moon sign, and a rising sign. It could be all different, but then in your chart you have multiples of other signs. Those signs might have more influence over where you're at right now, or depending on, because Pluto is doing its thing right now, so your Pluto placement is extremely important as well. So I feel like that was really important to mention. Again, you can look on your birth chart for that. So I feel like either you have a new opportunity that's coming towards you that involves you walking away from two other people, or you have two people that are coming towards you, one of them that you might have been holding on to, one of them that you might be getting communication from. It's like there's somebody that you're holding on to that you're stuck on, could be emotionally, subconsciously stuck on them, and then you have another person who might be coming in quick with some sort of communication, and then you have another opportunity coming towards you as well. And it's like, are you going to take that opportunity? It's like you get the truth of something. It's like you get set free of something, and because you're released from something, you see clarity for a new opportunity, or you see something for you to get going on your path, because you chose to not give something emotion anymore, and you chose to walk away from something because you healed from it. You know your worth. So you have the Two of Wands. I think it is crazy that they all have their back turned. You could have been connecting with someone at a distance who kind of had multiple people on the side. I hate to put it that way, but it's like this person definitely went in between people. It's like they were dealing with multiple people, or they're dating around, or they like to date around. But it's like you're recognizing something, you're seeing something, and you're working in the process of letting something go, and it could be something emotionally that pulls you. You might have an emotional connection with somebody, like I said, who's kind of like a player, who has like multiple people in their circle, calls multiple people. Like this person, you're just like, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm walking away quicker than you can think. Because you see the happiness of a new beginning. You're not afraid to take a new beginning. And that might floor this other person. You could have walked away from a Pisces energy. Yeah, you could have walked away from a Pisces energy. We do have the Ten of Cups. It's like you are getting some type of awareness when it comes to like your own emotional fulfillment. Like you are recognizing something after deep, deep thought. It's like you're seeing something for the bigger picture, and you're like, what do I want emotionally? What do I want my cups to look like? And then you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, you're happy. You're supportive. You go from the Four of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. It's like you go from like being in a trapped mindset to being like in like a stuck mindset to being in an abundant mindset where you're happy and you're flourishing and you have all the... You're just comfortable. Like you have everything that you need. And that's super, super important. Yeah, because you could have been dealing with somebody who wasn't giving you equal give and take. You could have been connecting with someone who just wasn't being fair. Maybe they were picking and choosing, when to communicate, or picking and choosing when they wanted to hit you up. And it's like you had enough of it and you cut it out, especially with the Queen of Swords. Like you cut that shit out like ice. You literally iced it. Because you found out some type of truth. Because you've been holding on to something and it's like something just clicks, or something comes in, or somebody gives you some type of information that allows you to just release and move forward. because you were dealing with someone who didn't want to make a decision. It's like this person just didn't want to share their time. Or maybe that's kind of where they're at right now, where they're like kind of thinking like, do I want to share my time? Because it's like this person knows that if they were to come towards you, it would be for a higher reason. It would be for a higher purpose. And they might be like doing this whole thing that they're doing because they're not ready for something, or they're not ready for a commitment, or that's not what they want, or like that's not what they want to focus their attention on, and it's giving the feminine anxiety. But see, the feminine's going to come back around like the Queen of Swords and cut the shit out, because there's going to be some type of insight that comes through about a possible new beginning, or this Queen of Swords energy sees a new beginning regardless of what this other person does, regardless of what decision they make, because they are enough for themselves with the Ace of Cups here over the Nine of Pentacles and over the Ten of Cups. That is self-love. That is abundance. That is an abundant mindset, knowing your worth. Knowing that you're worth more than this shit that's going on. I hate to say it like that. Yeah, and you might be communicating it, or you might be receiving harsh communication. You might be receiving communication from this person. They might try and like swiftly come back in once you've moved on, or once you change the direction of your energy, because when you stop giving something your energy, believe me, it feels it. So whomever you could be connecting with, if you shift your energy away from that person, this person's going to come back in some way, shape, or form, and it's going to be real quick, and it's going to be like, oh, hey, wait a minute, like, you're not giving me attention right now, like, why aren't you giving me attention? Like, that's how this person's going to come in, and you're going to meet him with the Ace of Cups, and you're going to be like, I love myself, and I don't need to give you attention, because you're not worth my attention, because you don't give me attention, and you don't value people who don't put time into you. You know, it's called equal give and take. Like, you don't just put all the time that you have into somebody and then not get anything in return. That's not fair. That's not love. Sorry, but it's not. And if somebody's playing you and they're talking to like 4 other people, now again, unless you're like okay with stuff like that, which I know most people are not probably okay with, it's like this person's just been in and out of your life for so long. It's time to just kind of set the something straight. I don't know what I just heard. I want to say market. I don't know what that means. Set the something straight. I don't know. You guys get what I mean. So, the best advice that I have here on the board for you is to love yourself unconditionally and to know your worth. And to say, hey, you've been in and out of my life for a long time, and I've unfortunately held on to this for far too long. So I'm going to make a decision, and I'm going to say, hey, I deserve better than this. So that's really what it comes down to. Even if there is a higher purpose for it, it's like people have free will and they're going to make their own decisions. And regardless of the higher purpose or not, like, it'll eventually probably come back around. But I'm not saying that because I want to, like, I would never want to say something and keep people stuck. But I can promise you that the universe would have somebody else step in and make you happy, because you deserve more than this. Like, you deserve more than what this person's giving you. Even if they are kind of thinking about something, thinking about an approach, like, it just doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, okay, why are you coming in like this, though? Like, why are you coming in like the Knight of Swords and the Six of Pentacles in reverse like that? Like, that's greed. That's sharp communication. That's not wanting to share your time. That's wanting to do it your way. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then, especially with the Three of Wands here, it's like, your ship's coming in, but there's 3 wands that I keep getting pulled to. Where it's like, maybe they just like to be single and they like to talk to people because they like to keep their options open. I don't know, but I see that you've been emotionally holding on to it for a long time, and the time has come to release that and actually move forward with your self-worth and your self-love. Because it's hard, because when you say that there's a higher purpose for something, like, it's very hard to explain on a general level, because it's just one of those situations where the universe has a plan, and if one person doesn't choose to wake up to something and see something, then there's always plan B, plan C, and plan D, you know, and that's unfortunate, but it kind of is how it is. But this person recognizes that there's a connection. That's the thing, is that they know that something is pure, like, they know it. But it's like, do they want to give up their lifestyle for it? Because that's kind of what I see here. It's like this person's just been in and out, no emotion, in and out of your life whenever they want, not really giving you emotion, giving you the idea of a 10 of cups, but not actually filling the cups. And they've just been kind of sitting and procrastinating because they see something, but they're not moving. And see, that's where I kind of get frustrated, and I just say, fuck them. Because it's like, that's not worth your time. Like, you can't deal with somebody who can make up your mind. Like, are you serious? Like, you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. I don't know. I think that no matter what happens, your ships are going to come in. Because there's a feminine energy that has a higher calling. And whether the masculine wants to acknowledge it or not, they have a higher calling as well. It's just a matter if they want to take action. And I do see some type of action. You might get communication. You might get a message. But I see more in a spiritual sense. Like, you guys might have, like, a spiritual connection. Maybe you dream of each other often, or you dream of this person often. And it caused you to kind of be emotionally stuck because this person might not be communicating in the physical sense. And that's frustrating as hell. I know how that feels. Yeah, keep moving forward for yourself. Honestly, just put yourself first, acknowledge yourself, and acknowledge your worth, and don't wait for anybody unless you two actually talk about it and you guys understand each other that in depth to the point of where you recognize, like, okay, I can wait for this. Because if not, it's like, don't. Like, don't. Because you don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to stay stagnant. You want to keep moving on your path. Because if it's meant to be, it'll always be, and that's what it comes down to. So, I hope these messages helped, and I look forward to connecting with you guys in the future. I hope everyone stays safe and has a good rest of the week, and I look forward to talking to you all soon. Take care.